Hi, I'm Mike,
And I'm Henry, and welcome to our Namaqua to Richtersveld adventure.
where I'm driving my Suzuki Jimny.
And I'm driving the Defender 130. My favorite part of this week, driving wise, is probably the Namaqua Eco trail. Scenery wise, it's a bit of both. While this is the official Richtersveld National Park, the camp we did at, what was it, TYRES, that was probably my favorite camp for this trip so far, between the clip copies. But it reminds me of Damraland in Namibia, which I quite love. So that's probably my favorite camp of the whole trip. Driving wise, I really enjoyed it. It is obviously a driver's trip. Passengers, I can only ask, did you enjoy it as a passenger?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, she did. So it's not the most comfortable trip that I would say as a passenger. Obviously a lot of bumps and stuff. The only mechanical issues I had on this trip was just ill fitment of brakes or the brake pads, circlips that were easily overlooked, and that caused the brake pad to fall out. So it's a minor problem that turned into a big one because we couldn't find brake pads. So we found out the one brake pad fell out. Obviously the pins that kept it in place didn't have the circlips in, and now we've stopped. And we're trying to retrofit Hilux brakes, which are a bit smaller, but we see if we can make that work. Somehow continue to try and go find our brake pads, which we missed coming our way back. So yeah. Eventually retrofitted other vehicles' brake pads, old ones, but they worked. They brake almost the same. Pugly does have some upgraded brakes, so it does help with the load. It is not a light vehicle.
My favorite campsite was Klein Groot Melkboom, the one after Klein Pella. It was interesting because Reino hated the campsite, and I absolutely loved it. I couldn't understand why he hated it. Reino doesn't like this spot, but we think it's alright.
I think there are better alternatives.
I think this is the best spot ever.
We've got good grass.
I don't think we've explored all our options.
But it was like the best campsite ever. It like green grass, we could camp on it. Put up the gazebo, the sun was awesome, and it actually was quite cool weather. And I caught like 5 fishes, and we made that, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it. The Jimny is quite a new vehicle, so I didn't have any issues with mechanical breakdowns. But even though it's quite narrow, it still had a lot of scrapes. There's a lot of thorn bushes here, so a lot of scrapages. It's like, very sore.
Oh wow.
But I mean, that's part of the fun. It's the least damage I could have on a vehicle. On a Jimny, improvements, I would definitely enjoy a bit more power. Third gear is very, very difficult, so doing 50, 60, 80 kilometers an hour there's not a lot of power. So that's definitely something I would want to improve on. Packing space, the Jimny doesn't have a lot of space. That's why I have a roof rack. A trailer would be nice, but then again I need more power. So either way, either I need a roof rack or a trailer with the Jimny. But I mean, it's a very nice vehicle. It's a petrol vehicle, so it has nippiness, and with upgraded suspension, 50mm, it's really nice. For me, that I missed on this trip was definitely the ability to quickly take something out, use it and put it back. It would have been nice to have some mechanism where I could take whatever I wanted, take it out, use it and put it back. Especially when we had to unpack a campsite, we had to take everything off the Jimny, unpack it, and then afterwards have to put it back and put it back nicely. So a trailer would have helped a lot there, where it would have had drawers or whatever to be able to quickly or efficiently take out what we needed. Fuel range is the worst thing in the Jimny. It's so hard to actually plan for it because it ranges so much. Well, between 8 kilometers a liter and 10 kilometers a liter for me with mud trains. So I definitely need someone that has packing space for me to take extra fuel with.
Mike, what's your fuel situation at the moment?
My light just came on. I think about, I'm not sure if I'm going to make the next town.
Okay, I think we have to refill you and Kubos. We'll get some fuel from the main tank and then we just pour it into the Jimny, okay?
It can work. If I can have 20 liters, I can definitely make 10 extra.
Yeah, well, 20 liters is half a Jimny tank, eh?
Yeah, about that.
Especially like Buggy, the 130 Defender, it really helps a lot to just have 3 jerry cans, put it back in the Buggy, and it can actually carry fuel for me. I found the Namaqua Eco trail was quite like you can just drive wherever you wanted, and the Richtersveld you had to adhere to the rules. Even though the Namaqua trail also has rules, it's not that you do anything different, it's just the feeling of having freedom. For me, the campsites on the Namaqua Eco trail, if you know where you're going, it's way better than the ones in the Richtersveld. So I would definitely go there if you have read up on trip reports. If you want to bring a girl with on this trip, you really need to choose her wisely, because she needs to enjoy it. Like, she needs to accept that there's not going to be a lot, and there's going to be a lot of 4x4 driving. So if you want to take a girl on a nice trip where there's facilities and stuff, go to the Creer Wildtuin. If you want to take her out to like test your relationship, come here.
Things that I enjoy in the Defender, on this specific one of Pugly, it's got a decent V8, so it's quite powerful. It's got the power there for the dirt roads, carrying load. Disadvantage, it is being a petrol engine, it doesn't have a lot of low down torque, or especially that engine. It's not a big Chevy or Ford motor, but obviously then you start going to more fuel efficiency problems. So perfect for this terrain. What I would improve on Pugly is probably a diesel engine in the future someday, but not any diesel, a proper diesel. So we'll still look into that. At the moment I'm quite enjoying the V8, and viable as a Defender. What does Pugly need at this moment? Probably slightly better suspension. We'll work on the suspension, but corrugated roads were a bit harsh. I don't think those shocks are really suited to that kind of vehicle. My fuel efficiency on Pugly, or let's just say consumption, efficiency is not a word there, was about between 5 and 6 kilometers per liter, which for a V8 loaded I think is decent. It's adequate. It obviously makes a trip a bit more expensive, but the vehicle is a dedicated camp vehicle, so it's not being driven every day. So it's alright there for me for now. Longer trips in the future, Namibia and Mozambique, I'll probably see what I'm going to do there, but so far not too bad. Fuel range at the moment with the 2 tanks is about maximum of 600 kilometers. It's about 110, 120 liters, so I usually work on the worst case scenario, 5 k's a liter, which is my normal around, except if there's a lot of low range driving, then it usually falls into the 4s, high 4s, but otherwise not too bad. Those people wondering, the Zombie Off-Road official flat caps are in the store. I'll throw a link in the description where you can visit the website. And driving between the 2 vehicles, I actually drove Mike's Jimny yesterday. The Jimny is a lot lighter, more nimble to drive. On this trip I kind of more enjoyed driving the Jimny. Dirt roads wise, definitely pugly. It's got the power and long wheelbase and big wheels, so it handles the dirt roads quite good for a solid axle vehicle. An easy trail to access with your normal bucky and stuff. Tomorrow is going to be a bit more technical, like we just did a quick trip down here. A bit more rocks, so you need ground clearance there. Low range just for the speed, not necessarily traction wise. But you can come here with pretty much any vehicle as long as you're equipped to be self-sufficient for about a week, water and cooking wise and fridges. Then you're about alright. It's not too bad. Definitely solar panels. Those things have saved my life so far. Otherwise would have idled I don't know how many jerry cans of fuel out just to power the fridge and the freezer. Preferred tires. My preferred tire for any off-road driving is usually a mud terrain. Not necessarily the tread mud, but usually the mud tires are stronger, sidewalls are stronger, so it's a much tougher tire. Upsides, more grip, stronger tire construction. Downsides, it's a very heavy tire compared to all-terrains or the highway terrains, but they are stronger, which means less punctures and less chances of you getting stuck in the middle of nowhere having tire issues. So in that case, I'd rather prefer my bigger wheels or the mud terrains of those. Jimny's also running them, and for every vehicle I'll drive in the future, I'll probably put on mud terrains, except if there's good all-terrains like the BFGs and the Cooper tires. Tire pressure for this trip. Corrugated roads, usually on Pugly with a heavy load, was between 1.2 and 1.4. It could have been probably lower, but we did do a lot of high-speed driving. I know Michael on the Jimny dropped it down to 0.7 at one stage, so that's very low and it eats a lot of power, hence why I can't accelerate as fast as Pugly can. But strangely enough, he can actually go through the rough stuff in the slower speed sections much faster than I can, so I don't get that, but yeah.
So as a passenger in the Jimny, I experienced it was a lot more bumpy, but because of the short wheel axle, it's a lot less like twisty turny. You kind of stay on the same side, go to the other side instead of switching a lot. Favorite campsite is probably I think it was the first one after Klein Pala, right next to the river, where we scouted no, that's not the right one. Groot Melkboom, when we scouted with the drone and found a nice riverbank. That was quite a nice site. You can go right into the river from there. Favorite food? To be determined. Well, we're having popcorn tonight, so it might be better. But other than that, the thing that satisfied me the most was the leftover wraps. Because we finally got some food. We didn't have breakfast. Well, rusks, if that counts. And then we had breakfast at around 12. Yeah. So that was satisfying. But the best food, that was the tastiest, I think, was last night when we had steaks, wors, deep fried fries, and mushroom sauce, which was amazing, and onions. Yeah, that was great. The item I used the most was easily a flashlight. I charged it just before I came, and the battery's dying already. I definitely needed more light, because you always need light when you're walking around somewhere that always has thorns and might have scorpions. And when you're walking across rocks in the middle of the night, when you have a midnight long exposure shot in the middle of a river of Michael bathing, then you need shoes and light.
Donkey.
Insert Michael's shot.
If having no facilities is an issue for you, do not do the Namaqua Eco Trail. If you need a toilet, come to the Richtersveld. There's ablutions. You can shit where you want. You can shit in the toilet. But the Namaqua Eco Trail, there's a bush there, there's a bush there. Choose one, go shit there.
Make sure you're subscribed and also clicked on the bell icon to be notified of our next Q&A video. Cheers! See you guys next time.